coach you had last year, that's not serious compared to the guy you have now. And I don't mean to rip the guys that came before, but that's just not serious. So now we're in a serious deal. And you're right. This thing here, look, I had somebody text me last night and they said, your stance on this DGG thing is embarrassing because they way overpaid for him. And I said, so what? So what? I mean, okay, they way overpaid for him. What do you care, Bino? They way overpaid for the guy?
Not a bit, Tony. Not a bit. That's all monopoly money anyway. They had to do what they had to do to get this kid. There are no can't misses out there, Tony, but rarely here have we ever seen a big time back out of high school not perform here. Bryce Brown is the only one of my lifetime that I can think of.
Wow.
That didn't perform here once we got him on campus.
Wow.
If someone can jog my memory of another big time back that we signed that didn't come in here and perform, I'd like to know who they are.
That's a great blog, Bino, right there. Great food for thought from you. You might have a weekend assignment. Bino, you answered the bell twice this week. One, when I asked you to, and two, I didn't even ask you to. What led you to be so inspired that you answered the bell twice, Beanstar? What led to that?
I think that DGG signing's just so encouraging, so uplifting, and it takes something to force me to blog anymore, Tony.
Yep.
I have to have something I really want to say to blog. So that was it. That was it in a nutshell. That's just that encouraging to me that we could go against a recruiting behemoth like Ohio State and take a player that they desperately wanted away from them. Just doesn't happen very much.
I mean, I had somebody reach out to me last night and say, I hope you're kidding, right? And I was like, kidding about what? I hope you're kidding about going on and on about this guy and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, why would I be kidding about that? I mean, what? I don't understand. Like, what is there to kid about? Well, Tennessee way overpaid him. Yeah, okay. Okay, whatever. I'm just kind of like, I don't understand why. And I guess, Bino, that's just the way we are. Like, we had a call yesterday, a guy that was all like, we overpaid and you need to admit it. And I got one of those from a personal friend of mine last night. And I was just like, I don't understand that. What do you think leads to that, Bino? This whole thing of overanalyzing this?
I really don't know, Tony. I guess it's just human nature. And I'm in no way saying that DGG is going to have the impact on this program that Nick Saban did at Alabama. But I remember the exact same thing being said when Nick Saban was hired as coach at Alabama. How can you pay that guy that amount of money? Why would you do that? I think they found out whatever they paid him, he was worth that and more.
And that's kind of the point here. It's like, sure, Tennessee might, might take their lumps this fall. That's a possibility, right?
Sure.
Tennessee might take their lumps.
It's SEC football.
Yeah, this fall. But this guy gives you psychologically something to look forward to. People say, well, what are you going to do on defense next year? I don't know. What are you going to do on offensive line next year? You better be able to identify. That's okay. We have this year to enjoy yet, though. and this young quarterback to watch and enjoy. And I'm going to watch it and enjoy it, Beanstar. And by the way, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm really looking forward to this fall. Aren't you? Bino, aren't you really looking forward to this football season? It's going to be a really fun year here. You can feel it.
Yeah, I am, Tony. And, for the just for all the changes that were made, and, a lot of them, it may take, the book on Knowles is it takes a year. Rarely do you have a performance coach that comes in one off season changes the entire spectrum of your speed and size. DGG won't be here until 2027, but still, all of those are encouraging things for the future of this program. Whether the future is 2026, 2027, 2028, these are moves that are positive moves that will help our football program.
So I would encourage you to go to tclub.team, check out what Jeff Henderson has to say, because it's wonderful. And we're going to break it down on the other side, presented by Gufon Moving and Storage. The great, and I do mean great, Mike Huguenin joins. Subsequently, the SEC voting will come out. Generally, it comes out right around this time. And so we'll check on that. When news breaks out, we'll break in. And if the YouTubers want to watch that as well over on X, that would be a big help. With Brian Hartman on break right now. Laura's on the board. We're going to come back. We're going to visit with you. It's your Tony Basilio show. It's Friday. And I think I'm going to sit down here. Bino, I've got to sit down with you, and I think I'm going to break up some watermelon here later on in the hour. The great Ron Higgins is going to join. I was getting drug immaculate, Bino, for eating there down the air, and I didn't realize people could hear me. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Bino?
Tony, I didn't happen to be listening at that time, but I did. You can't get completely away, because I did have text asking, what is he doing? I said, I have no idea.
Oh, so you had people texting you about my eating on the air?
I did, Tom.
Oh, man, that's embarrassing. Well, I went back and saw that Laura was like, what? Stop it. And then she said, I'm just letting Walton do the board. I can't do this. And she walked away.
Threw up her hands.
I asked her yesterday. I said, did you hear the end of yesterday's show? She said, no, you started that. You started eating again. She said, I'm not. I said, well, I'm hungry.
The daily grind has to be a real challenge for Laura.
It's pretty next level. Rodney Kraft asked me, Tony, what do you think of Kiffin's appearance? I think he looks like a little boy. That's what I think of his appearance. He said, what did you think of Kiffin's appearance? I think he looks like a little shy boy in front of the media. He's a keyboard warrior, but he acts like a shy little boy in front of the media. Doesn't he, Bino? He speaks in that kind of high voice, and he kind of doesn't really, his voice still sounds like he's in puberty, and he doesn't really, I don't know, he's just not real impressive in person. How does he keep getting all these jobs?
Other than watching a clip or watching Josh Heupel's appearance, I haven't seen a minute of it. But I did read Top Rope this morning, and he said that Kiffin even worked into his little talk, the gym, that we're all going to die. Thanks, Lane. Appreciate that. Not sure what that has to do with football, but thanks.
Hey, Rodney, kind of like you. You want to know what I think of his appearance? I think he's kind of special. Kind of like you're kind of special. Brief timeout. Not special, but, special. So we continue with more Mike Huguenin on the other side after this. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
The High Noon line of hard seltzers is always a winner and always next level. High Noon vodka seltzers come in 14 flavors with real vodka and real fruit juice. Only 100 calories with no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. Personally, I'm partial black cherry and pineapple. 14 flavors. That's as many bad takes as I've got in a week. In the mood for a kick? Try High Noon vodka iced tea in 6 refreshing flavors, including peach and lemon, green tea, and half and half. Feeling adventurous? Check out High Noon tequila seltzer in 6 refreshing flavors, including my favorite, Blood Orange. High Noon real vodka, real fruit juice. Live like the sun is always out. Brought to you by High Noon Spirits Company. Must be 21 and over to enjoy responsibly.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Baseball fans, it's time to step up to the plate. Look your best. Get some new Tennessee gear from Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall has the best selection. Top brands for you to choose from this season. Look, it's nice and warm outside. So get into any of their 6 air-conditioned East Tennessee locations. Shop online, download the app, grab your Tennessee baseball jersey, your hat, your decal, maybe a t-shirt, and they have so much more. Earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Go Vols and shop Alumni Hall, your ultimate Tennessee shopping destination. Touch them all with Alumni Hall. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
With Gary Sturm. He's with Mortgage Investors Group, making our community a better place every day. Gary, you've been at it 32 years, man.
Yes, Tony, I've been at Mortgage Investors Group for 32 years. We've known each other since, back in the 80s, right?
And we've gotten to know each other recently as our family has gotten involved with another mortgage. Through that whole process, you were a prince, just like Jeker. When he called you at 3 o'clock in the morning after a Tennessee loss, you've been giving your phone number out for a couple decades. And why is that, Gary?
This is the biggest financial decision you're ever going to make. You don't want to trust somebody online, some 800 number. You want to call somebody like myself that's going to give you my number, and you can call me anytime. I'm there to help you. I'm there to help you and your family, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your trust in me. You can call me anytime. You can be like Jeker and call me at 2 a.m. and complain about the Vols just like he did. I'd rather you call me about a mortgage, but that's okay. If you want to cry about the Vols, we can do that too. I'm a Vol at heart. You know that. And if you want to come in and meet with me face-to-face, I'm here. If you want to do it online, I'm here. That's fine. If you're curious if you can qualify to buy a house, people know the housing market's tough. That's what I'm here for. There's no obligation. You can call me anytime. I get you pre-qualified. Or maybe you've got a mortgage and you're thinking about refinancing. Maybe you want to shorten the term. Maybe you want to go to a 15-year. Who knows? But again, that's what I'm here for. It's what I've been here for 32 years. My number is 865-660-2648. It's 865-660-2648.
Gary Sturm at Mortgage Investors Group, going to take great care of you.
Got a plumbing or HVAC problem at home? Whether it's an AC that won't cool, a furnace acting up, a clogged drain, or a water heater problem, Pipe Wrench Home Services is ready to help. Right now, get 15% off any HVAC or plumbing repair when you schedule service with Pipe Wrench Home Services. Our licensed technicians are equipped to diagnose the issue, explain your options, and get the repair done right the first time. Don't let a small problem turn into a major headache. That strange noise from your air conditioner, the water heater that's not keeping up, or the drain that keeps backing up won't fix itself. The longer you wait, the bigger the problem can become. At Pipe Wrench Home Services, we make repairs simple with friendly technicians and fast, reliable service that you can count on. We'll arrive ready to identify the problem and get your home back to normal as quickly as possible. Take advantage of 15% off any HVAC or plumbing repair and schedule your appointment today at pipewrench.com. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. Restrictions may apply. Eligible for repairs up to $5,000. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. Fired up, focused, and prepared. Proud to be with you. Pleased, pumped, all that good stuff. Presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. They've been in the moving and storage game for a long, long time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking 5 generations. I'm talking dating back to the late 1800s. I'm talking the great Mike Huguenin now joins. Hughie, how we doing on this Friday, brother?
Doing well because we're inching ever closer to real football games.
That's kind of where I'm at, Hughie, in this whole thing. We're talking to Bino, Jeff Henderson. You can feel it right now, man. You can feel it in the air, my brother.
Yeah, I mean, we're a couple weeks away from schools opening practice. NFL camps some have already opened, and I think all of them will be open by next Tuesday or Wednesday. So, yeah, it's the long nuclear winter is over. Football's back.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. SEC media days have sort of come and gone. The voting's going to be out here momentarily. What's top 5 going to look like, Hughie? You're nerdy enough to go to the top 5. Give it to me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Texas, Georgia,
yep,
LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss.
All right, let's pick that apart. The media is going to pick Texas, Georgia, LSU, A&M, Ole Miss 5. All right. Out of that 5, who you buying, who you selling?
Well, I guess buying to what extent?
Well, you got Texas 1. You buying them at 1?
Yeah, I mean, they should win the SEC. Let's put it that way. They are the most talented team in the league. Yes, there are still questions about Arch Manning, but he did get better as the season progressed. He played well down the stretch. Their offensive line, though, still a huge concern. The receiving core looks strong. Cam Coleman's there now. They're paying him a lot of money to be a legitimate deep threat. They spent a lot of money on their running back situation. They brought in 2 of them. Defensively, they're going to be solid, though. I think one of the more underrated storylines in all of college football, Sarkisian fired Pete Kwiatkowski, even though Texas gave up 18 points a game. Texas's defense was not the problem. Texas's offense was the problem. He fires Kwiatkowski and brings in Will Muschamp, who hasn't called plays in a while. So that's going to be a fascinating dynamic in a way. It's almost like Sarkisian was looking for a scapegoat after last season, and I think he found one in his defensive coordinator. Again, even though that defense gave up only 18 points a game, he fired him. So you get Georgia, Their receiving core is a gigantic question mark. No returning receiver more than 15 catches. And that's London Humphreys, who is nothing more than a number 3 or 4 receiver anyway. They brought in Isaiah Canyon from Georgia Tech to be their go-to receiver. The dude was 3rd on Georgia Tech in receptions. He's supposed to be Georgia's number 1 guy. Running back situation, Nate Frazier's good, but Dante Dowdell, the kid they brought in from Kentucky, had an ATV accident and almost certainly not going to play this year. He's in a spinal rehab facility in Atlanta. You wonder if he'll ever play again. Wow. Defensively, they're going to be fine. LSU, hugely expensive roster. How good is Levitt going to be? Didn't go through spring practice. Can Kiffin get everything to mesh quickly? And as we talked last week, Kiffin thrived in a circus atmosphere. I still don't think he realizes how much of a circus atmosphere he has walked into. Texas A&M, Marcel Reed, the last time we saw him on the field, played abysmal football when they lost to Miami 10-3 in the CFP playoff. Reconfigured lines on both sides of the ball, but they also spent money in the portal. And then number 5, Ole Miss. They're going to take a step back. I wonder how good a head coach Pete Golding is going to be. Chambliss is a stud. Kewan Lacey is a stud. They got a nice receiving core, but man, they're spending a lot of money on their lines, and let's see how those guys mesh. But yeah, I can criticize all 5 of those, but I also think that those legit are the top 5, at least on paper, going into the season.
Bino, of Hughie's top 5, what are you buying? And he thinks that's how the media is going to vote, and I think he's probably right. Of the top 5, Bino, because I think the league feels volatile. LSU is a good example of that. Texas could be a mini example of that if they lose to Ohio State early on, and all of a sudden, especially if Arch doesn't, Hughie, perform, and then all of a sudden, hey, we know how their fan base is. All these fan bases are nuts. All these kids live in fish bowls. These kids that are super highly paid then get the whole get deluged on social media. People could say, hey, Hughie, back in the day, coaches would say to me, I don't listen to your show. I don't read the papers. You believe that, Hughie? Have you ever believed that, Hughie? The coaches didn't read the papers?
I think every coach in every sport recognizes when talk is negative about him or players on. Yeah.
The same coaches that would say that to me back, and this is when guys were accessible. Now they're not. Now they're multimillionaires. They got them walled off. But back when they were accessible to the regular humanoid in the world, they would say, I don't hear you. And then they would say, well, why did you say this about me? And I would say, well, which one is it? You don't listen, or why did I say that about you? But anyway, so Bino, of the top 5, he talked about Kiffin and LSU. That'd be a good one to sell. But Bino, of the 5 that Hughie mentioned, who's not going to be in the top 5 at the end of the year from this fan vote that we're anticipating?
Tony, I'm going to say it's a tie between LSU and Texas A&M. And I'll give Mike a quick question here based on that. Mike, you got A&M losing 13 starters from last year, most on the offensive and defensive lines. LSU with basically a new roster. Those teams being voted ahead of Ole Miss, is that not just simply a vote for Kiffin and Elko over Pete Golding?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. At least in this is what I think the media is going to do. I think there are legitimate questions about Pete Golding. I think there are legitimate questions about the offensive coaching staff now at Ole Miss. Golding did well at SEC Media Days. Obviously, I'm not there. I didn't go. And I didn't, my God, I didn't watch on TV. But you read his quotes. He was very laid back. had some fun with the media, had a good time. But they went to the college football playoff semifinal. That was not a Pete Golding team. That was still a Lane Kiffin. So let's see what Golding does as the head coach and with an all-new offensive staff, because all those dudes left for LSU. The A&M offensive line, 4 new starters, which is but I do trust Elko, and two starters on the LSU offensive line. One's a transfer from Wake, and one's a transfer from Western Kentucky, who started his career at Miami, didn't play, went to Akron, then went to Western Kentucky, and now he's supposed to start at LSU. So let's see how that all pans out. But I think that Kiffin and Elko are hands down better coaches than Pete Golding. And maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I think I look at it this way. If someone's asked you last year which SEC assistant is most likely to be a head coach in 2026, I think you would add to go 6 or 7 deep before Pete Golding's name came up.
Wow.
And now he's the head coach at Ole Miss because he was the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss, and players liked him.
Mike,
and that's kind of where we
knew that about that offensive lineman proves beyond a shadow of a doubt you had no reason to go to SEC media days.
No, he knows way too much. He's a sick individual. The truth is, too, Hughie, we start talking about where we are and heading into the season and this, that, and the other. You know, you look at it, and I can punch holes in every team, which is the essence of the transfer portal era. That's one thing the portal's done. It's pulled those elite teams back to the pack in all these leagues. Those allegedly elite teams, like if Tennessee gets pretty good quarterback play early on in the season, they can have visions of really hanging around, really scaring, and maybe beating Texas on a weird day in Neyland Stadium. Never know.
Yeah, and I think you look at the truly elite teams. I mean, Alabama, when Saban was there, some of those dudes who transferred out would have stayed. Georgia lost 12 transfers, which was the lowest number in the SEC, but some of those dudes would have been really nice depth pieces. So I think that's the new era of college football. You got guys who would have been key backups at power schools now aren't willing to wait around or want to start, and they move on somewhere else where they do start and are pretty good. So I think it shows on Saturdays. You know, we've talked about this for the last 18 months as well. All the stuff in college athletics during the week makes you want to throw up, but every Saturday, what's on the field is the best it's been in a long time, because a lot of players are older. A lot of basketball players are older. A lot of baseball players are older. And guys who were 22 and 23 who have played for 4 and 5 years in college are better than 18 and 19-year-olds for the most part. So football is the same way. I mentioned the kid that's transferred from Miami to Akron to Western Kentucky, now to LSU. He's 23 years old. So, and he has played a lot. He's seen a lot of football, played a lot of football. So, those kind of guys, when you can plug those kind of guys in rather than counting on a redshirt freshman or a sophomore who's played in 7 games, that does help the product on the field.
The great Mike Huguenin, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, established 1887. It's a while ago. Serving your Knoxville area, local long-distance moves. Online, GufonMovingandStorage.com. I'd encourage you also to check out what they can do for your storage and your receiving needs. If you own a business, they can really help you there with all your logistics, make you slicker, sleeker, all those things. Bring goods to you when you need them, store them at their place. It's remarkable how they've been able to stay in the vanguard in the moving and storage business. That's how you survive as long as they have in a business, by under promising and over delivering when you wake up every day. It's what they do at Gaffon Moving and Storage. Shout out to Taylor, he's 5th generation. Hughie, your 5 again you had Texas on top, Georgia 2. Who's 3?
LSU
You think the
3,
league?
A&M 4, Ole Miss 5.
Bino mentioned A&M. I'm going to sell 3 of the 5. I'm going to sell A&M. I'm going to sell Ole Miss. I'm going to sell LSU. I think LSU is a wreck. I think they're going to be a wreck. I think they're going to be really talented, but they're going to lose some early season games, and then it's just going to Kiffin's going to be a mess there. That's my prediction.
We talked. Yeah, they opened with Clemson, week 2,
Loss.
Louisiana Tech, big deal. But then at Ole Miss,
loss,
and then Texas A&M back to back. That is a tough opening stretch. Yeah, LSU should beat Clemson. But Clemson's still sort of a mystery. Last year I thought they would be excellent. They reeked. I think this year they'll be, 3rd or 4th in the ACC, which means that LSU should beat them handily. So, but if LSU were to lose one of those 4, or my God, 2 of those 4, it will be Ringling Brothers Circus setting up camp in Baton Rouge for the next 3 months. It would be wild. So and plus, I think we talked about this too. Can you imagine if LSU gets off to a slow start, the governor of the state is going to be asked his opinion, and that's a given. So I mean, the circus will be in town, no question.
So
hey, Mike. I'll always believe that the way that Lane Kiffin left here, and I understand his thought process. He was a California guy, got an opportunity to be the USC coach he never thought he was going to get at that point. But he left here outside of a hiring cycle, and I'll always believe that because of it, he threw us into several years of wandering in the wilderness. In a different manner, do you think he's done the same thing to Ole Miss?
Yeah, I think Ole Miss may have, again, maybe Pete Golding is, as grandmother used to say, the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I don't think that's the case. Again, I don't, at no point last year, again, I think if you had asked somebody at the beginning of last season, give me an SEC assistant who'll be a head coach, nobody would have mentioned Pete Golding. I understand why Ole Miss promoted him. I'm not sure I understand why they decided to make him the full-time coach immediately. But that's another one that if they struggle, well, let's put, we talked about if LSU loses when they go to Oxford. Let's say LSU comes in and blows Ole Miss's doors off, which I don't think is going to happen. But all of a sudden, Ole Miss fans are going to be like, oh, my God, we're stuck with this guy now. So I think that's a legit question about Ole Miss. Did they panic and make Golding the full-time coach when they really didn't need to?
Remind me of the timeline of that. Was he named the full-time head coach before or after he beat Georgia in the playoffs?
Before.
Okay. Well, then that's on them. I couldn't remember. I thought, I couldn't remember if it was done after he beat Georgia, then they were almost put in a position where you're not going to hire the guy that beat Georgia in the playoffs. So I couldn't remember. Thank you.
Well, Hughie, and here's the other thing about this guy, about Kiffin. That's his history. It's not so much as the great Craig Jenkins taught me one time, and it's true. I've often thought about it. I quoted this to my brother last night in conversation. You learn so much more about somebody on the way out the door than you do when they come in the door. Everybody's sweet and nice when they come in the door. But, after we kind of live life together and things happen in a business sense, you learn a lot more about somebody on their way out the door. And in Kiffin's case, the thing with the Raiders was terrible. The thing in Knoxville was bad. The thing at USC was bad. Nick Saban couldn't stand him anymore. Get out of here. And then he leaves a team that's in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know what, and I'm not like obsessed with the guy or anything, but I don't know what other evidence So I'm canceling out of you 5 you think the media are going to name. I think that LSU is going to finish outside of that money. I think Ole Miss, for the reasons you just enumerated, is going to finish outside that money. And I'm hard selling A&M. We visited with Olin Buchanan yesterday from there, who's been there for forever.
Yeah.
Long enough to know about her. Olin's great. And he said, here's a problem with A&M this year. He said, now the expectations are very high. They return 2 offensive linemen who are not in their rotation. They've added like 10 new offensive linemen. Okay. So they've got to figure this out on the fly with their offensive line. Hughie, you can have some replacements in this deal. When you're bringing in a new offensive line, an entirely new offensive line, we've seen this in major college football in this era. You're playing Russian roulette. That's what you're doing. There's a chance that you spin the chamber and you live and you have fun and you go. There's also a chance, like Florida State a few years back, Hughie, or Texas last season, where it goes off on you.
Very true. And A&M's got 4 new offensive line starters, all 4 transfers. Those 2 did come from other SEC schools, which I think might ease the path a little bit because they have played against the guys they'll be blocking against. But yeah, I'll be honest, now that I think about it, yeah, A&M, it might be Alabama in the top 5 instead of Texas A&M. But I do like Texas A&M's defense. Their secondary is going to be excellent, I think. The linebackers are going to be fine. The defensive line, I think, will be solid. Plus, Elko's a really good defensive coach. And one more concern about Texas A&M, now that I'm ripping on my own pick, that their offensive coordinator left to become head coach at Kansas State. And they promoted their wide receiver coach, Holman Wiggins, who has been around the SEC for a while, used to be the receiver coach at Alabama for Saban. And their receivers are good. But that offensive line at Texas A&M, yeah, that is, if you want to pick on Texas A&M, that's the legitimate reason to pick on them, because their offensive line is a totally unknown quantity.
The thing about it, too, is, and I'm not trying to upplay this or play to the local fan base. All politics are local. I'm really not doing that. But when you take 3 of the first 5 out, and last year, by the way, Texas was picked to win the league. They didn't. Alabama was picked to finish 3rd. They did. Georgia was up there as well. But the other 5 or 6 teams were kind of nowhere to be found at the end of the year. And that is how the league feels this year, too. It really is. And that means, Bino the Great, that there are some teams that could be this year's Ole Miss. There could be this year's Ole Miss lurking in the shadows. I don't think LSU is going to be there. I don't think A&M is going to be there. And I don't think Pete Golden's ready for this jelly. So, Bino, that does leave the door open. Even if Texas and Georgia live up to it, that leaves the door open for a couple other folks to kind of emerge here.
Yeah, and if so, I think if we get quarterback play, we're in that group, Tony. I think that group would probably, outside what you're talking about, if you were to ask me, would be Oklahoma, Florida, or Tennessee.
And that is kind of, the other thing, Hughie, about these schedules, because Bino was talking about, who you look at, right? Now it's not so much who you play, but when you play, who you play.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, for instance, Tennessee's going to play A&M at the back of the schedule. By the Tennessee gets to A&M, they'll figure out their offensive line stuff. By that time, they'll be much better than they are in the front of the year. Front of the year, a lot of head football coaches out there are going, boy, we're glad we get to play them, because you can do things defensively to kind of screw around with their offensive line, because they're not going to have continuity. They're not going to understand each other. They're not going to know rhythmically how to play with each other. They're not going to understand each other's tendencies. You can't replicate that in a quick camp. There's just no way.
No, you can't. And if you're an SEC defensive coordinator you should be good enough to take advantage of a offensive line that's finding its way. And Bino brought up Oklahoma. Mateer last year broke his finger, still played, was very uneven. I still think he's a really high-level player. And defensively, Oklahoma's going to be really good. But you talk about the schedule and when you play teams. Oklahoma, in their first 5 games, Michigan on the road, Georgia on the road, Texas, and Dallas. So 3 monster early season foes. None of those games are at home. Now that the Oklahoma Texas is a little bit different, but still it's not a home game. So I think Brent Venables, sort of calmed the waters last year, no question. But a sluggish start this year, and everybody starts picking on Brent Venables again. So, and their running back situation, I'm not convinced that's all that good. The receiving core, 2 transfers expected to start, including a guy from Texas who Texas did not care left. But that's another interesting team. And you Tennessee. The one thing about Tennessee, the offensive line and Deshaun Bishop. If you have a questionable passing attack, which I think Tennessee's going to have, it's a nice thing to be able to have a really high-level back running behind an experienced offensive line.
Yes, if we can defend, Mike, is everyone kind of sleeping on Alabama?
I actually saw something the other day. Somebody was commenting to me, is Alabama actually underrated going into the season? I don't know about that. They have 1 starter back on offense. 1. And that's Ryan Coleman Williams, who never saw a pass he couldn't drop. So I'm not so sure that Alabama is going to be all that. The quarterback situation is still a little bit in flux. Defensively, I think they got a really good safety in Keeson Sabb. They got a good corner in Xavier Brown. The Pierre kid at outside linebacker is good and might be great. The defensive line, all transfers are supposed to start. Which is at Alabama.
Again.
I mean, are you kidding me? So I'm not sure people are sleeping on Alabama, and I don't think they're underrated for sure.
Hey, Bino, that's the deal here. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Tennessee's one of the few teams that return their offensive line. Why wouldn't you go get a veteran quarterback? You think about the opportunity in this league, and I'm not second guessing that. There are people over there making tons and tons of money. I don't know what the combined payroll is of the Brain Trust, but it's several $1 million per annum. I mean, imagine that, Bino. You return your entire offensive line intact. Imagine what an advantage that is. Imagine what an advantage that could have been for you if you would have just gone and gotten, somebody experienced to do this. Not saying that the kid won't be able to do it, but imagine how much easier it would have been if you'd have had somebody with some experience. Think about that. There's a real opportunity in this league right now when you start looking at these rosters.
Yeah, there is, Tony, and I hope we don't look back at that and regret it. I'm not sure that it would have been Sam Leavitt for me. I don't trust the type of injury that he had for him to come back and be the quarterback that we've seen him be before. But there were a lot of other options out there as well. So hopefully we don't look back and rue that decision.
Hopefully the 76ers don't look back and rue the fact that LeBron James, after his circus that's lasted like 8 weeks this summer, has finally come crashing down, and the bearded lady and the juggler, the bearded lady, the juggler, the who else is there? The small people. What do you call the little people, Hughie, you get to look at the circus?
Yeah. The little people, yeah.
The little, it's all touching down in Philadelphia this year. So, LeBron James announces for the Sixers.
Yeah, that's
shocking. The basketball world.
I'm shocked at that.
Yeah, I am too. So the podcast I listen to called Rights to Ricky Sanchez because the guys make me laugh. Said the other day, it's just been fun to kind of have our name mentioned with this thing, and just they said there's no way that guy's coming here. Absolutely no way. Why would he? And it just would make no sense. And he's going to finish his career, of all places, in Philly, once again proving, as if my wife being married to me for 35 years doesn't prove that God has a sense of humor. God has a sense of humor. LeBron James in Philadelphia. Hughie, it is now that time for us to say it is time for the Mover of the Week presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. Hughie, hit the music, my friend.
Michigan, they continue to go down. So, that athletic department's been in turmoil for about 2.5 years. Maybe even longer if you want to go back to when Juwan Howard hit the other opposing team's coach. Through Connor Stallion Gate, through Harbaugh leaving, through Dusty May leaving, through Sharon Moore getting fired. And the school decides to spend $12 million on a investigation by an outside law firm, comes back with what the interim school president describes as serious concerns that require immediate action over the culture of the athletic department. So what do? They tell the AD, you're gone, but you can wait till the end of the year to leave, and we're going to pay you all your money when you do finally leave. I don't understand what Michigan's doing. They're a pompous school, and for most of my life they deserve to be pompous because they look to do things differently. So the Fab Four thing was not kosher for sure, but what's gone on there the last couple of years, the idea that one man is overseeing this Ward manual. His department's culture is bad. It requires immediate attention, but we're going to let him continue to be AD for 5 more months, and we're going to give him all his money owed when he leaves. That doesn't sound like punishment at all to me. Sounds like you get to ride into the sunset with couple $9, $10, $11, $12 million. It's beyond ridiculous.
Bino, the concept of a Michigan man, has sort of taken a beating. Bino, Jeff Henderson, the arrogance of those people. I would think this has been a humbling experience for them, Bino. Those people that believed in that stuff.
I think the president even said that they're going to use Ward Manual to help them usher them in beyond their problem.
What?
Hell, he was the problem.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He's going to help them. Manuel's 58 years old. He's going to help them ease into the next iteration of the athletic department. Yeah. Plus, I forgot about the offensive coach who hacked into computers to look at pictures of female athletes from their medical exams. Matt White.
What haven't they done under his watch?
No, that's it. You're right.
What haven't they done?
Signs. It's incredible.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out that Jerry Sandusky had like a camp there. What haven't they done? Between them and Michigan State, between them and that doctor at Michigan State, what haven't those two schools done? What haven't they done?
The Michigan man thing, that myth has been blown apart. And they used to make fun of Ohio State, and it's easy to make fun of Ohio State, but Ohio State hasn't been this bad lately. That's for sure. But Michigan. If the athletic department's in need of a serious reset, why are you letting the old guy hang around, and why are you paying him his full salary? After you pay $12 million for a report that you've only summarized and said you're not going to release.
Bino, Bino likes the thing about the president, which I didn't catch. He's going to help us. This guy, I mean, when does it end with this stuff, guys? People are out there working for a living. These people are getting filthy rich, and this guy was obviously incompetent, Hughie. He's either incompetent, stupid, or just willfully ignorant, right? He's either one of the three.
I don't think he's incompetent. I think he hired, for the most part, pretty good people, except for Sharon Moore. I think his concern is winning. We're Michigan. We should be winning. So, whatever. Oh, whatever. Did we win on that? Do we have a national title banner? Yes. So whatever what happened in football is fine. We have a national basketball banner. Whatever happened in this department's fine. We won titles, and I think that's unfortunately. I don't think every AD thinks that way, but I think there's a lot of them that do, and I think there's a lot of fan bases. Yes, you got people saying Ward Manuel's horrible, but he brought us national titles in football and basketball.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, by the way, Rhonda Hart-Valls, who's one of these women that really knows her sports, which Hughie, I love. I find that so endearing. Shout out to Rhonda. Shout out to Navy Wife House and all of our female listeners. I love you all. You have no idea. Hughie, she said the following. Let's not forget, they allowed him to be over the playoff committee.
Yeah. But that doesn't bother me as much as some of the stuff that went on in Michigan. The playoff committee, they have to have a spokesman, all that kind of stuff. But no, she's got a point. I mean, it's not like he was not sort of tainted by scandal when he was head of the committee as well. So you're right. She's right. You're adding a different element to the whole mix. The head of the college football playoff committee, the guy who's making the speech every week, his school has got some issues in his department. That is sort of a bad look, no question.
I told you guys before, that whole conference is full of crap. I mean, that legends and leaders stuff, their division should have been the Pharisees and the Sadducees. That's what they should have been.
See, I have no idea. I have no idea what that means, but I'm assuming it's funny, so that's good.
Hughie on the way.
No, because I'm not a biblical scholar, I guess. So.
Hughie on the way out, and I love you and I appreciate you. How long until week 0? How many weeks are we?
It's August 30th, so we're 5 weeks away.
God, man. Bino, can you believe that?
Tony,
yes.
The one thing I can believe at this point in life is time marches on, and it does so quickly. So,
and by the way,
I believe it more than I used to.
In 2027, which is the geophysical year of the caller on this show, which callers are going to come first in 2027, I got to tell you something. Week 0 will have a full schedule. That's one of the changes they're going to make to the game.
Yeah.
And thank God for that.
One of
the week 0,
One more thing about the SEC meetings, I thought Sankey did a nice job, and I'm hoping to see Petiti sort of follow suit. But the whole breakaway thing, he's like, we're not breaking away. We may break away to do our own rules and stuff, and I'm assuming that he and Petiti at least have talked about that. But I mean, we're like you said, though, we're a year away we're only 13 months away from the 2027 season starting, but there's so much still up in the air about that. Do they want to start the season earlier? Everybody says yes. So they need to get on the stick here and start making some decisions for 2027 that they kept kicking down the road.
Hughie, I love you like a brother. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, man.
The great Mike Huguenin one more time. On the other side, we'll get Ron Higgins in here to respond to the fact that Bino is ripping LSU immaculate, and the media votes will be promulgated. Will Hughie hit the nail on the head? I am fired up, focused and prepared, I might go to Walmart and buy myself a cheap Philadelphia 76er garment, something made in China, Bino. Would you like a Philadelphia 76er garment? Should I bring Brian something back that's got 76ers on it?
I think that would be the thing to do, Tony. I'm sure that Brian wants one.
Brian wants...
I feel I can speak in his absence.
12.5 pretzels from Wawa. He wants the double plated pretzels. And he eats like literally 6,000 grams of carbs in like one sitting, Bino. He'll sit there and eat 5 of those pretzels, which is really eating 10 pretzels. You've seen him do it. The guy's a machine.
He is.
A machine. As we continue with more, Hughie was great today. Thank you to Gaffon Moving and Storage. And Hughie did appear, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on our High Noon hotline. And I want to shout them out. Shout out to our friends at High Noon who provide our High Noon overtime as well, and our hotline where our guests appear. And I want to remind you that not only does High Noon have 14 flavors of hard seltzer with the vodka in it and the real fruit juice, but they also have tequila seltzer in 6 refreshing flavors, including blood orange. And after this week, it's all coming up big orange. So shout out to High Noon Spirits Company. You must be 21 and over to enjoy responsibly. Our due after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Tona B, inviting you to experience the Collins Insurance difference. And what's that? How about multiple top carriers that you can trust? Like Erie. They underwrite our entire Rainier studio and everything around it. Travelers, Hartford, Hanover, Progressive. We do what's right because we care. In today's technology-driven world, maintaining the human touch, Bruce Springsteen, is one of our main focuses. We deliver the best customer service humanly possible. We give you someone that you can actually call or sit in front of. Imagine that. No call centers here. Experience the Collins Insurance difference. Check them out at collinsinsurantetn.com, and they're Mrs. B approved. Collins Insurance. TB with a few serious questions. You feeling tired? Foggy, you gaining weight, or you just don't feel like yourself anymore? Hormone therapy is finally becoming mainstream, but it's truly something my man, Dr. Tom Rogers, has been doing for over 20 years. Dr. Rogers at Performance Medicine wants you to feel your best, and he treats both males and females. So guys, we can do this as a family. At Performance Medicine, hormone therapy is personalized to you. If you're dealing with hot flashes or mood swings or low energy, decreased libido, fatigue, muscle loss, stubborn weight gain, it might be time to find out what your body really needs. No shame in this game. You can do something about all the above. Performance Medicine offers customized hormone treatment plans based on comprehensive lab testing with options like pellets, creams, patches, oral medications, and injections. The goal is simple. Help you feel like yourself again. Next level. Make your life better. Take it to the higher plane. Visit performancemedicine.net. Schedule your consultation today. You'll feel your best with Performance Medicine.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in Knoxville and in Johnson City. So we're ready to offer any player top-level competition, top-level training anywhere they want to be in Northeast Tennessee. In our programs, we offer competitive play for anywhere from 9-year-olds to 19-year-olds. We've got 2 locations. Our location in Knoxville is kind of our home base, and our location up in Johnson City in the Tri-Cities area is our FC Alliance North. Both locations are growing tremendously, and we're excited about what the future holds here at both locations.
Growing the beautiful game in the season of the World Cup. Chad Stockton, how can folks get more information?
Go to our website, FC Alliance or FCAllianceNorth.org, and both locations we're happy to serve the beginning player or the more experienced player, because what we will promise is the top-level training and top-level leagues that we can play in for all of our players.
Growing the beautiful game in Knoxville and now also in the Tri-Cities FC Alliance. Thank you, Chad Stockton.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Only 3 homestands remaining for your Knoxville Smokies. Some of the best promotions are still to come. Join us next week for a jam-packed week with all-you-can-eat Wednesday, Knox Vegas Thirsty Thursday with half-off draft beers. On Friday, let's continue the fight against breast cancer by painting the park pink. Saturday, we honor one of the founding members of the Negro Southern League, the Knoxville Giants. And Sunday Fun Day to end out the week. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Knoxville Smokies.
Nothing makes you realize how much you rely on your air conditioner like a scorching hot day in East Tennessee. You want more than a technician. You want someone you can trust. Schedule Pipe Wrench's $79 AC tune-up now because the heat is here. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune your HVAC system to help it run efficiently and reliably while reducing the risk of breakdowns when you need it most. And while we're there, we can also recommend ways to improve your indoor air quality for cleaner, healthier air throughout your home. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when comfort matters most. Schedule your $79 AC tune-up today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer valid on standard systems only. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey, Tony. Good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the .1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Great, Ron Higgins. Let's get down on it right now. The predicted order of finish in the SEC as I welcome you in. Hour number 2 on the radio. You got me. You got Bino the Great. It's an unbelievable Friday. You're on the High Noon hotline. It's noon somewhere. Shout out to my friends at High Noon. The great Ron Higgins now joins. Ron Higgins, stop me when you're surprised. Are you ready, my friend? How you doing?
Go ahead. I'm good. How are you, man? Awesome.
Man, I'm fired up, dude. Another football season's upon us.
Yeah.
Got to hang out with your boy John Adams a couple days ago. I mean, could life be any finer?
Really? You hung out with John? Okay. All right.
John Adams.
Yeah.
He's a curious little fella, isn't he? Is he acting, or is that for real? Is that an act, or is he for real?
That's him, man. That's been John his whole life. I don't know anybody who has funnier stories about his journalism career than John Adams.
Yes.
From breaking a story at Ole Miss by having to check into the Mississippi State, check into a hotel in Jackson. He was next door accidentally in a hotel to the football coach and his agent who were planning to overthrow the athletic department and become athletic director. He happened to be by chance, the hotel room next door just checked him because his editor said, Jackson editor said, "Still get this story." So he checks in the only hotel in Starkville, and as it turns out, it's a hotel room next door to these guys, and he listens through the door and breaks the story.
What?
Yeah, I didn't tell you that one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Hey, Bino, that reminds me of the time when the groomers were going on with John Gruden here, and people were having apparitions of him everywhere in Knoxville. Bino and I had a guy walk up to us and say that his son was listening to Tennessee staffers as they were talking about who was going to be on the staff and who wasn't through a stethoscope on the wall.
There you go. Yeah.
Bino, am I lying about that? Am I making that up, Bino?
That's 100%.
His son was in medical school. Yeah.
John was so bold. He checked in his hotel, and his room basically was right off the lobby up these stairs, this winding staircase. And his other room was right next door to it, so he's exposed. He has cojones to go downstairs to the desk clerk and say, "Could you turn down the music in here and here in the lobby? It's really loud," because he couldn't hear. So he goes back up and he's exposed. He puts his ear next to the door and with a notepad is taking notes.
That might be the greatest thing I've ever heard since sliced bread. Predicted order of finish, Southeastern Conference 2026. Here we go.
Right.
Stop me when you're surprised. Are you ready? You give me a buying or selling. Give me a buying or selling. Are you ready?
Okay.
Number 1 is Georgia.
I'll buy that.
Texas, number 2.
I'll buy that.
Ole Miss, number 3.
I don't buy that.
Why?
They naturally think they're going to be great.
Yep.
I know they got players, and I know they had a good year last year, and you build off of that. I'm just interested to see how they do with a new offensive coaching staff. And then, I know Bowling's there, but there's a new offensive coaching staff. Charlie Weiss is in there. He's at LSU. So I'm interested. I mean, they got a great quarterback, no doubt about it. Great running back. I understand that. I can see why people would want to pick them there. I think that's more of a reflection of all the people at SEC Media Day just falling in love with Pete Golding, probably. So,
I don't understand it. I don't understand the Pete Golding thing. He's never done it. He's never been there. He's never been in the spot. He's never had to deal with adversity. He's never been there.
I agree with you. So I don't agree with number. No, I don't agree with that. No.
Bino, what about Ole Miss at 3? You buying, selling, or trading that, Beanstar?
I think I would buy it if not for Pete Golding and not for the questions about him, because I think the two that come after them, Texas A&M, I think lost too much, and LSU, I think they've had too much turnover. I told you before the show started
really
that
weird.
My top three were Texas, Georgia, and Ole Miss, so I'll stick by that.
Okay, so we go back here as we visit Ron Higgins on the program, who holds it down in Louisiana and has forever and ever and ever. A&M 4, buying, selling, or trading?
I'll buy that.
Boy, they've replaced a lot of guys. The whole new offensive line. Whew.
I think
they do have a lot of talent.
I think their coach is pretty good. I like
he's
the
great.
Guy. Yeah. Yeah,
he's great. All right, so all politics are local. Your neck of the woods. LSU 5, which, by the way, if that's accurate, that would mean they've spent a ton of money to miss the playoff if they finish 5. You buying or selling or trading that spot?
I am selling.
Higher or lower?
I put him back a little bit. I put him out. I thought they would come in really in this preseason poll probably 6 or 7. That surprised me. This surprised me. Yeah.
Pino and I were talking before. There's not a lot of candidates, though. It's a league Oklahoma? Where there's well, that's true. Oklahoma, that's true.
Oklahoma. Look, the line of decarnation. The line is drawn. It's Georgia and Texas. Then you've got about 5 or 6 other teams right together.
Yep.
And then there's a separation. I mean, 3 through about 7 or 8 could be, it could be any one of these teams. It could be LSU. It could be Oklahoma. Ole Miss is in there. Texas A&M's in there. Tennessee is in there. And then there's a drop off. Then you have the Carolinas and the Auburns and the Floridas and the Vanderbilts of the world. And there's it's in 3 groups this year. I really believe that. But the 3 through 8 deal is just 3 through 7. Sorry, is just jumbled, really jumbled, and it could go anybody's way for any of those teams depending on who stays healthy, who has enough depth when you get to November. I always feel like when you get to November in this league, your team is on fumes, man. You're pretty much, and you better have some depth to survive November, and you better, and your key people better not be hurt. And that's one of LSU's problems last year was when Nussmeier got hurt early, and it screwed their whole team up, man. And then they fire Kelly, and then they just the rest of the year is a wash. So, I think the LSU at 5 is high. I really do. I really think the best they can do with the schedule they have is 9-3. It's not an easy schedule. Look, you're talking like 56, 57 new players, the most in LSU history for coming in. And you talk about they have to get ready for in the first 4 games, you got Clemson, Louisiana Tech, at Ole Miss, and A&M.
Yep.
And they lost to Ole Miss and A&M last year. And they beat Clemson, the only big game they played decently all year, barely, an opener. Then they got a little break with McNeese, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Auburn. Then they finished up Alabama, home, Texas at home, at Tennessee, which ain't going to be easy. We know that. And then they play at Arkansas in the last game in November, which is always hell. because Fayetteville in November is not exactly your vacation spot. You want to go to a game. It's going to be cold, probably rainy. It's a hard schedule. So I'm telling people, all these LSU fans, he better go to. I mean, most of the nation just, to me, it's just stupid. They got to look at this thing logically. They pay this guy all this money, and they gave him, a huge NIL budget, and he bought all these great players. I get that. But nobody in their first year on a job in a program anywhere wins a national championship, or much less like go to the playoffs. Nobody does that. All right. And so my whole thing is all these, especially the LSU fans who are just, lacing their gumbo with cocaine, I guess. Jesus. So we should be in the playoffs. We should be all bad. I'm thinking, man, you know how bad you were last year? Why don't you just try making a first down on 3rd and inches, okay? Or not jumping offside every other friggin' play when we get in the red zone. Or maybe have enough diversity in your offense where every time you get in the red zone, you're throwing the ball up to 6-7 trade as green, okay? Let's accomplish the little things first before you start thinking, oh, we're going to go do this or do that. It's crazy. It really is. Like, we haven't seen Sam Lipton practice, yet. Healthy. He'll be there next week.
That's a problem.
See what happens.
Yeah.
But I do know this about LSU. They're going to run it's going to be Ole Miss, bunch of damn plays in a hurry. It's going to be fast paced like Ole Miss played, a ton of plays in a hurry. You try to wear people out, and look, they got the personnel to do it with. I agree. But again, you're talking about a team that has to be really good out of the gate because of who they play. They can be really good out of the gate. And all these guys, they talk about how but all the transfers came in, we all bonded and all that stuff. That's great. You can bond and all that, but once you get in the heat of battle, together, and there's 100,000 people screaming, you can't hear yourself. That's when you find out. So for all the people who think that, Kiffin never said he's going to the playoffs this year. I think Kiffin understands that, we're building for 27, 28. What happens this year is gravy, actually. And I think he gets that. He understands there's a process. He understands it doesn't matter who you buy, you can't be great right off. Look, it took him 6 years at Ole Miss to build up to what he wanted to be. It took him 6 years. And
they're not going to give him 6 years at LSU. Hey, he ain't getting 6. You know that place. They're going to be. Hey, listen, if you're right, and they finish middle of the league, 7th or 8th, they're going to be all over him. You and I, and that governor is going to be all over him. That governor that's got missing brain cells.
Because the governor's a power-hungry little dweeb. He's a little dweeb, okay? He has to stand on the soapbox to be called up to talk to people. He's a little dweeb, all right? And then you got, and I understand, like, they could be all of them. That's fine. But I know he can take it. He understands what the deal is here when he came here. That's why he came here. He came here because he thought this was a place that had the money and the facilities and the fan base to win a national championship. And it does. It's proven that. It's been done under 3 coaches, since 2000. And good God, if Ed Orgeron can win a national championship, anybody can. Okay?
By the way, hey, Bino, I got to ask you something because I need Higgs to take a breath here. He's on like an all-time roll. Bino, was lacing gumbo with cocaine on your Singo card today to come out of Higgs' mouth during his promo that he cut on the stupid LSU fans who have this idea that they're going to play for like a national championship this year in this guy's first year?
It was not, Tony, but I'm extremely grateful that I was here for it. Hey, Ron, I don't know what it is about Kiffin. I like Kiffin. I think he's a solid football coach, but here's a guy that's never won a power league, never coached a team in the playoffs, and yet there's an aura about him that just makes you believe when he shows up at your place.
Yeah, I wrote a column today about that. It's like, The guy's 51 years old. I think this is 16. I think he's been a head coach for 16 years in Division One. Believe it or not, the only 2 championships are in Conference USA. Never won a playoff game. Yet he's like, because of his social media presence and his, he's like this mythical figure, and people think that like you said, there's an aura about him. And if you I know y'all dealt with him for 1 year early in his career, but his first press conference was actually his spring press conference. It was, and I knew this before watching him. He's uncomfortable when he has to get up in a press conference and a microphone, because he measures his words. He shifts his feet from side to side. He never really looks at you. And here's a guy who's more comfortable behind the keyboard and social media than he is, in front of the media. I think he's uncomfortable, probably a little bit shy, you believe it or not. But he's a hell of an offensive football coach. Everybody who's ever played under him said it. All the quarterbacks say how brilliant he is, and he is. But I agree with you. He's never won nothing. When Tennessee hired him, I want to call him like they're out of their mind, because he had never won nothing. I mean, before he went to Tennessee, his resume was zip, nothing. And Tennessee hired him. I was stunned. And then he stayed 1 year and left, and then went to USC, got fired there, where Orgeron took over as the interim. And then, so yeah, I agree with you. There's this aura about him. I think people that think they have this picture of him. And I like him too. I don't think he's a bad guy. I like him too. So what? This guy was all of a sudden a villain because he did what coaches for years have done. He left before his team's last game of the year because he was forced to. No school's going to hire a coach and wait for him until after the season's over because of the football calendar. So, you got the December signing period, you got transfers, and then you got Ted Cruz, this National Athletic, what the hell it is. We have the Lane Kiffin rule. Where school, coaches can't leave schools for another job until the end of the season. That's crazy. And they call it the Lane Kiffin rule. And the guy got crucified for that by everybody. You got the national press who all of them think they're the sanctimonious crap. That think they should judge everybody on everything. He's a villain. He left early. The butthurt Ole Miss fans. That's getting old, people. That's getting really old. The only 2 coaches who were ever good enough to leave Ole Miss for another job
talking to Columbus
were Tommy Tuberville and Lane Kiffin, and the rest of them were fired.
Talking right to Columbus.
And Tuberville was the biggest villain in Oxford until Kiffin left.
To Columbus.
Now Tuberville's 1A. And all because the guy left and took another job because he wanted to see if he could do it at a little bit higher level. That's all. He's 51 years old. Who's going to turn down the LSU job? If you're 51 years old and and Kevin talks to the people he trusts, talk to Nick. Nick told me, it's a hell of a place. You can win there. It's going to be a lot of pressure. You can win there. And he knew through Orgeron what the place was like.
Cool.
But these Ole Miss fans, they're still angry. They're still smoldering. There's this one guy on Facebook. Yep. All he does is go every week, and he's like this. He looks like an old cousin of Colonel Red. He gets on there every week and just starts ripping. Anything happens to Kiffin, any news, they rip him.
They're obsessed with him. People are obsessed with this guy, like Bino said. And he's got this kind of, I don't know what it is, but you're right. He's like painfully shy. Hey, Bino, I'm going to ask you something here with Higgs here, because Tennessee's in that group, like 3 to 8. Generally, if you look at the league this year and it goes according to form, Texas and also Georgia are getting into the playoff. And there's another spot for the SEC, maybe 2. So what you could have is 5 teams fighting for 2 spots. Should Tennessee consider themselves, Bino, one of those 5 teams fighting for 2 spots? Because Higgs included them when he mentioned, and I'll go through the teams again. Ole Miss, A&M, LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma, Tennessee. That's 5 teams fighting for maybe 2 spots, Bino. True or false?
No, I think Ron is exactly right there. And I think if we had any idea what kind of quarterback play we were going to get, we would certainly think we're in that crew.
Yeah, and it's no mistake that the 2 best returning quarterbacks in the league are the 2 top teams at the top.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
It's not brain surgery. I mean, you get a bunch of sports writers together voting on stuff, and that's what they look at. Hey, who's the best quarterback? Well, those 2 guys. Well, you know what? Nobody else does. They should be 1 and 2, and they've been good. They were good last year, so okay, we'll go with them. And then it gets jumbled because honestly, you look at the rest, and Ole Miss has Chandler's back. Oklahoma has their guy back. Alabama doesn't. LSU doesn't. I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, it's really jumbled. And I guess that's what, and it's even more jumbled when you consider all the new coaches of the league. I think 5 or 6, something like that, the most ever. So I mean, the people who bet on football this year, they need to take a sedative because it's going to be hard to figure out from week to week who's any good because you have new coaches and new systems. And God, how do you predict this stuff? I mean, the media, which is I'm a part of, really get this stuff right. When you're the media days, you listen to all these coaches and they're shot in the dark.
Bunch of morons.
I get a lot of guys. They'll vote for the coach they like the best at the podium. I mean, the star of this thing was Pete Golding. He was honest. He was funny. It's like he cussed on the podium, which was always a plus for sports writers. Like this guy was like, "Oh, speak cusses," and they liked him, and so they put him third. And I think look, LSU fans should know that when they go to Oxford on September 19th, a day before my 70th birthday, they should understand they're going to be underdogs. Okay, they're going to be underdogs. They will not be favored. And but again, we'll see what happens. I'm really fascinated to see what happens with Ole Miss because you have a whole new offensive coaching staff, and you have a different head coach who's never been through a whole season before as a head coach. So we'll see.
Higgs, you could be the man. Now, I say that Bossier Journal. Is that right? You corrected me last time.
Right. Yeah.
Are you kidding? Did I hit it this time?
You hit it right on the, I mean.
Shreveport Bossier Journal. He's a columnist. He's also interactive, ultraviolet, and intergalactic. He's a noted author. He's in several Hall of Fames. He's also a great drummer. Are you been playing any music lately?
Yeah, I have. I was playing some stuff. I was playing some new Rolling Stones stuff. Their Rolling Stones new album is fantastic. Unbelievable.
Nice, man. Really? That's cool.
It's a great. I mean, it's probably their best album in years, and it's been
really.
Critics love it. If you listen to it, it's like God. It sounds like the old Stones, man. It's really, really good. So I've been playing to that lately. A little bit, listening to that stuff. Playing that lately. Playing some of that. So,
Stones are special. I love the Stones. Here's the thing. We do a cover. Sexy Lancey sings it. One of my favorite Stones love songs of all time, Dead Flowers, where he says, and I won't forget to put roses on your grave. It's very next level. I love you. You're my man, Higgs. If folks want to follow along, how do they do so? The great Ron Higgins, you cut a promo for the ages earlier, my man.
ShreveportBossierJournal.com. It's a free website because I am cheap and easy, and because at Ron Higg on Twitter, SEC Ron on Instagram. That's it.
Thank you, my man.
All right, Tony. Anytime. Y'all have a great
much
day.
love to you. Hey, thank you, brother.
See ya. Bye-bye. See ya.
I'll tell you this right now. In a past life, I referred to LeBron James, maybe last week, as LaFraud. No more, baby. No more. No more of that talk. Le champion. Le champ.
Le champ.
La Moses. La Doc. La Moses. Bino, how excited are you for this college football? And the Vols are, you look at the SEC this year, the Vols are kind of alive. The Sams in Nashville, the sheep over there, the sheepy people over there on, those guys are right. Those guys are right, Bino. All summer, they've been telling me Tennessee can be a part of this thing. They're in the 3 to 8 group. You can put those teams in any order, too. You could put Oklahoma third. You can't put Tennessee third, obviously. But last year, a couple teams came out of nowhere, and the only coach that's ever done what Kiffin's trying to do at LSU is the guy at Indiana, Bino, in this era, and he ain't the guy at Indiana. We know that. Now, he's okay. He's pretty good. The guy at Indiana went from where he went, which was in the low Division I ranks, over to Indiana, brought a bunch of his players with him, and somehow made a playoff that year at 10-2, Bino. And we all thought it wasn't real and schedule driven and all that. Okay, it wasn't real and schedule driven. Then he turns around the next year and wins the national championship, dusting just about everybody in his path. I'd say he's pretty good. The guy over there at Indiana being started.
He's a once in a lifetimer, Tony. He's a guy that was much more seasoned than most people that get an opportunity like that. He's John Beilein on steroids. We're never going to see another Kurt Signetti. Never.
Let's go to the phones. It's been an absolutely legendary day. As Ron Higgins appeared, ladies and gentlemen, on your high noon hotline. It is high noon somewhere, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. High noon vodka seltzer, 14 flavors, real vodka, real fruit juice, only 100 calories, no sugar added. Stock up. The weekend is here. College football season's right around the corner. And remember, brought to you by the High Noon Spirits Company, 21 and older to enjoy. We go back to our busy phones. And I want to say, if Walton will tell me who's there via text, I believe the rapper Andy Bino is with us. The rapper Andy. He's been there for a while. Rapper Andy, get on in here if you're here.
What's going on, Tony?
Rapper Andy, welcome in.
Well, I just wanted to say that, that fight didn't happen last Saturday. I had planned it. It was supposed to happen. They basically tried to call me a liar. They didn't like it when I posted screenshots of them when they tried to call me a liar and act like that the fight wasn't supposed to happen. But, yeah, his wife had said, well, I'm pretty sure the fight's still on that morning. And I was like, I better get to Crossville. And I told Ethan, I was like, you better get to Crossville. And guess what? He wouldn't come. He tried to get me to meet him in public, and I told him, no, I'm going to Crossville. He didn't show up. So I'm done. I'm done with that. Redneck Brawl's not going to happen because Ethan won't fight me there. He said that he would never fight me there. So what's done's done. But what about DGG, though?
That's what I want to hear. Because you have insight that few of us do. You get a chance to get close to these guys. What did you think of his announcement? What did you think of his announcement? He was very understated. He didn't make it about himself. I was really impressed with that kid. You were right about him, Andy. You were right about him.
He seems to really be a animal, a hard worker, dedicated to the craft, understands that, you put the work in, success follows. And I mean, his father, I think he handled the best that he could with all the hate and things that was coming at him and things like that.
Yep.
I mean, it happens sometimes, and you hate to see it. Like, that should never ever happen. I mean, with any fan base. I mean, a kid's decision is a kid's decision. You know, just like him. I mean, I think that's where he really wanted to go. He loved Derek Owens. He felt that Derek Owens could get him where he needed to be. I mean, look, Derek Owens is making our players run 21 and 22 miles an hour. You imagine what he's going to do with him alone? His 40 time will probably increase by, what, maybe a 423, maybe a 430?
I
don't know.
Hey, Bino, we got a bunch of guys running over 30 miles an hour now on campus, apparently. The Sowings guy. He's got people running 30 miles an hour. Hey, or 20 miles an hour. Hey, Bino, question for you. Cinco said he thought it was really interesting that young man, for that announcement, cut his hair and, you know, presented himself to the world. He said that might be a little thing. He said no sunglasses indoors, no multimedia presentation, no, I got 3 hats up here. Let's choose one. I'll throw it on the floor. Just a lot of respect all the way around for the opportunity given him. I thought it was a great, great, great presentation by that young man, Beanstar.
Oh, I did as well, Tony. And I know this is kind of an old man statement, but what impressed me most was not what I saw, but what I didn't see. I didn't see look at me, and I didn't see sense of entitlement from that young man. He's going to come in here and work his hind end off and be as good a player as he can possibly be, and as good a teammate.
Andy, you were right about that. You were right, because look, Nico had the nation of 3,000, and he had a lot to live up to with the family, as you talked about, the 3,000 family members. And then, but this kid here, he seems to have like an inner core. He's not going to have a circus around him. I think he comes here and gets down to business, Andy. I really do. I think he's an impact player.
Yeah, and I mean, recruiting is get ready to be. I really feel that Asa Barnes is next. I've heard, you know, it's really heating up on Asa Barnes. I think that's how you say it. That
from West Tennessee.
And if he even flipped DJ Jacobs, that would be huge. I think Tennessee could really do it. I think David GG could absolutely say, "Come on, come here. Let's do something. Let's do something big." You know, because at the end of the day, I think they really see. I think the world, and I'll be honest with this. I think the world is really starting to see that us Tennessee fans are the most dedicated, because we're just us. Like, you cannot beat Tennessee fans. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter if you're Georgia fans or Bama fans. You will not be a Tennessee fan in nothing. You won't beat them in a diss track. You won't beat them in a rap battle. And you dang well won't beat them in recruiting. And you dang well not beat them as being one of the best fan bases in the United States.
Andy, several players, you mentioned our strength and conditioning coach earlier, several players are now running over 20 miles per hour. In your training, when you track yourself, okay, and you're getting ready for a fight, what miles per hour do you run, Andy? What's when you put
I'm glad you asked me that. So
put that speedometer on yourself.
I don't know anybody at the gym has ran it, but we got a new treadmill. It's a free motion.
Okay.
It is one of the fastest treadmills that I've ever ran on. I had one time, there was a treadmill we got those that run on a 12. The new one that we have runs on 15, and I absolutely blister it.
15?
15, setting 15. So whatever.
Hey, Bino,
I don't know what
that man runs at 15, Bino. Bino, how long could you survive at 15, Bino?
Probably about a step before it threw me into the wall.
Andy, how fired up are you right now?
I'll make a video
Please
of
do.
it tonight just for cracks and giggles.
Make a video, put it out there. Tag me, tag Bino on it. Make a video, put it out there. And also, if you could, freestyle a rhyme while you're doing it at 15.
I don't know about that because it's rough. It's fast. I told my gym owner, I said, man, we need a faster treadmill. I said, I want a treadmill that I can see if there's like at the point of I can't run it.
Andy, you're kind of the man. I appreciate you, brother. Have a Dwight Gooden.
Yep. Go Vols.
Go Vols to you. We'll get some more calls in on the other side. That's pretty legendary. Hour 2 in progress.
Be honest with me, Tony. Be honest with me.
Hit it.
Was that rapper Andy, or was that Adam Sparks on the High Noon Hotline?
More after this. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. He doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he definitely prefers Dos Equis. That's right. The most interesting man in the world has returned, and he's more interesting than ever before. His phone is addicted to him. All of his teeth, all are wisdom teeth. So raise a Dos Equis to the man, the myth, the legend. And remember, stay thirsty, my friends. Dos Equis, enjoy responsibly. 2026 Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Like our 2026 football Vols, score a T3 TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times, 80 proof of vodka, delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades, like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's Premium Vodka, T3, Tennessee's Premium Vodka, distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee. Achillio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from B. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Big news, Basilio family. get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in Knoxville and in Johnson City. So we're ready to offer any player top-level competition, top-level training anywhere they want to be in Northeast Tennessee. In our programs, we offer competitive play for anywhere from 9-year-olds to 19-year-olds. We've got two locations. Our location in Knoxville is kind of our home base, and our location up in Johnson City in the Tri-Cities area is our FC Alliance North. Both locations are growing tremendously, and we're excited about what the future holds here at both locations.
Growing the beautiful game in the season of the World Cup. Chad Stockton, how can folks get more information?
Go to our website, FC Alliance or FCAllianceNorth.org, and both locations we're happy to serve the beginning player or the more experienced player, because what we will promise is the top-level training and top-level leagues that we can play in for all of our players.
Growing the beautiful game in Knoxville and now also in the Tri-Cities. FC Alliance. Thank you, Chad Stockton.
Thanks, buddy.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved, and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
The High Noon line of hard seltzers is always a winner and always next level. High Noon vodka seltzers come in 14 flavors with real vodka and real fruit juice. Only 100 calories with no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. Personally, I'm partial black cherry and pineapple. 14 flavors. That's as many bad takes as I've got in a week. In the mood for a kick? Try High Noon vodka iced tea in 6 refreshing flavors, including peach and lemon, green tea, and half and half. Feeling adventurous? Check out High Noon tequila seltzer in 6 refreshing flavors, including my favorite, blood orange. High Noon real vodka, real fruit juice. Live like the sun is always out. Brought to you by High Noon Spirits Company. Must be 21 and over to enjoy responsibly.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402 is our numero dos. We are no doubt heading, ladies and gentlemen, for a absolutely next level High Noon overdrive overtime. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix and in the mix and in the hunt with us as we bring it back on a beautiful, and I do mean a beautiful Friday. And we'll do some High Noon overdrive overtime before we get into our weekend. But it's a great thing. Walton's on the board here. We're making it happen. And we're fired up, focused, and prepared here. And Bino's feeling frisky today. Bino's feeling a little Bino, I like it when you got a little something in your quiver. You're fired up right now, Bino. I'm enjoying this, Bean Star.
I am, Tony, and I believe I heard Ron Higgins say that his 70th birthday is September the 18th, the day before LSU plays Ole Miss. If I heard that right.
I think that's right. Yes.
If true, he's 11 days older than me. And to hear him go off like that at close to 70, I was kind of ashamed of myself. So I'm trying to keep up.
Yes. I kind of dig that, Bean Star. I kind of dig that. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. You know, the voting's out. We didn't go through the exact voting, so let me give it to you. Georgia's won. Who else is out there? Georgia is 1. Texas is 2. Ole Miss is 3. A&M is 4. LSU is 5. Alabama picked 6th in the league. When is the last time Alabama was picked out of the top 5 in this league? I bet it's been a while, Bino. What do you think?
I would think it's been a long while, Tony.
Oklahoma is 7. The Vols are 8. Florida 9. Missouri 10. South Carolina 11. Auburn is 12. Vanderbilt 13. Kentucky 14. Mississippi State 15. And Arkansas 16. So if you're playing along at home, just by the fan vote or by the media voting, the Vols play Team 3, Team 4, Team 5, Team 6, Team 7, Team 11, Team 12, Team 13, Team 14, and Team 16. What do you think, Bean? I'm not missing Georgia right now, Bean. Are you? You crying for no Georgia?
No, Tony, I'm not crying for no Georgia. I would always cry for no Alabama, but I'm not crying for no Georgia.
All right, we're going to go back to our phones, and we'll get if you want to get in, we have a line available for you. If you're encountering whatever you were encountering before, you won't be encountering that. But let's go ahead and we'll start things off with W. Lynn. Welcome in.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
Hey, W. Lynn.
Hey, W. Lynn.
Two great guests, but Bino, I'm like you. Ron Higgins fires me up. He tells it like it is. He has fun with you guys on the air, and I love him. I love Hughie Bear too. But Hughie Bear didn't quite get the Pharisees and the Sadducees. That reminded me of one day you were talking to Jerry Palm, and you go, "We got this guy named Repalytics Judd," and he goes, "Judd who?" I love that, Tony, what you do with our guests.
Well, the thing is, you have to have inside jokes on the outside. That's always been a part of what we do here. And if you could drag somebody into that, like the other day I was getting food here where I'm at, and I looked at the guy and I said, "Have yourself a Doc Gooden." And he went, "Huh?" And it's just, I'm dragging somebody into the show, W. Lynn.
Yeah.
W. Lynn, stay right there. I want you to be heard. In the meantime, I've got to say that the playbook is on the way next with the great William Pattison. Following that, we've got the great Russell Smith, along with the irrepressible and always eloquent, you bow thy head when you say thy name, Bob Baskerville, along with Bear. We got you now. In the meantime, appreciate you. Check us out over at tclub.team. Peace. G to the B to the O, and here comes our overtime. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340 WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
It's high noon somewhere. Sun's up, and it's time for another High Noon Overtime. The place where we kick back, pop a top, and really get to the bottom of it. Presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Made with real vodka and real fruit juice. Only 100 calories with no sugar added and is gluten-free. Live like the sun is always out. And now, it's time for High Noon Overtime.
My name's TB. It's unbelievable. It's a High Noon Overtime presented by our friends at High Noon. The sun is out, ladies and gentlemen. It is high noon somewhere. In fact, it's high noon roughly in our central time zone right now. And the High Noon line of hard seltzers, vodka with real fruit juice, real vodka, real fruit juice, 14 flavors. Let's go to the phones. W. Lynn, I'm back in with you. Hit it.
Tony, hearing the rapper Andy on gave me an idea. At the old Smoky Stadium, I had the honor of being invited by Craig Jenkins to go to a wrestling match that he got together. Had Jim Cornette there. Donnie Tyndall was a manager. I got to go behind the scenes. It was a wonderful experience. I say use Smoky Stadium, get the rapper Andy against possibly the Caller of Florida and a tag team partner, the Small Cattlemen, with Titans Bill on the PA and Nega Dave as the referee.
Only thing I don't like about that is including Cattlemen. But other than that, that sounds like a great idea.
We might sell the place out, I tell you. It'd be
no doubt about it.
Fun.
No doubt.
But, what I like about this time of year, too, is as Coach Majors used to say, stick-to-itiveness. Got to all come together, and we got to come together as Vol fans right now and get fired up for this season. But I'm excited too, way more than I guess I was this time last year. Definitely more than I was at the end of the disappointing season. And one thing you mentioned about why didn't we go out and get a quarterback, and I think the only explanation is that 99 judges out of 100 in the United States, Puerto Rico, Guam, and Alaska would have had Joey football on our roster this year. But we had to get to one judge that wouldn't. That's what all of our eggs were in that basket.
Yeah, you can't leave.
How did we mess up and find one that actually did his job?
I know, Bino.
I know
That's
an
leave it
outrage.
to Tennessee, man. It's the That's So Tennessee of it all, guys. That's what that is.
It's so put your cup on time, the one judge, that did his job. You're right. And, but anyhow, I'm moving on with, new quarterbacks. And Tony, you brought it up yesterday. I didn't want to, but I thought about him, DGG playing at Baylor, and I'm like, I don't want him playing almost. I almost want him just sitting out and getting ready to come here. And that's not a good way to think. I don't guess. But I have to, it's in the back of my mind. Would you agree?
It's where we are now. Yeah, it's where we are now. I don't want this kid exposing himself, W. Lynn, and that's a terrible thing to say out loud, man.
Yeah. I can remember people accused Jamal Lewis of running out of bounds, not to get injured and stuff. And I'm thinking if I'm a guy that millions of dollars depend on me not getting hurt, whatever sport I'm playing, I'd do the same thing probably.
Well, you're exactly right. You are 100% right, and it's a brutal sport, man. Look, the CTE thing is real. There are only so many hits that anybody has. It's kind of like a pitcher. And the stress and strain on your arm, there's only so many throws in the ground, even after a Tommy John surgery. You only get so much. And kind of what we know about the science now and the brain issues. That's why I hate that Jalen Hurd was treated the way he was treated. That's why I shouted him out earlier in the week.
Yeah, that you're right, because running back's going to have more head contact than anybody.
Yep.
And last I checked, have they made a rule that a running back can't lower his head going through the line of scrimmage?
No.
I mean, that's a concussion waiting to happen, even
Yes.
if the defender does all he can.
Well, you see sometimes where the back will get a low center of gravity, they'll butt heads. They always throw the flag on the defender, Bino, in that situation. Have we ever seen an offender, Bino, an offensive player, called for a crown of the helmet violation?
I have not, unless it's been
I haven't either.
A blocking situation. I've certainly never seen a ball carrier called for it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. Every once in a while, you'll see a ball carrier called for if a stiff arm gets up in a face mask and they'll pull and tug. Yeah. But and that looks like fun, by the way. You're running down the sidelines and you grab a guy's face mask.
Face mask while you're running. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Another thing those running backs go through, I mean, you got big defensive linebackers swinging their arms and hitting you in the head. That's a possible concussion.
Ain't that right?
Yeah, so I'm fired up. I know he's not here this year, but I really think Bishop's going to come through for us and surprise a lot of people. And he's the true Tennessee volunteer story. He comes here as a walk-on. Nobody really offered him anything, and he's worked his way up. And I don't know how many stories we're going to see like that, guys, in the future.
I agree with that.
Oh, that's true. I mean, they're rare right now, and he's done it in an era where it's unbelievable.
And I'm just going to enjoy the season. One game at a time. That Georgia Tech game is the key to the whole year for me. We got to win that and be undefeated when Texas comes in here. And the 12th man in the student section cannot let us lose that game to Texas. And are they planning a Manning cast from the box during that on ESPN 3 or something?
Boy, our fans are really triggered about Peyton saying he's going to cheer for his nephew. And then people are saying, no, he's cheering for his nephew to do well. He's not cheering for Texas. That's not what he said. He said he's cheering for his nephew.
I know it.
So, but W. Lynn, thank you. Bino, why do our fans think? Thank you. Bino, why do our fans want to pretend like Manning said he was going to cheer for the Vols, but his nephew to do well? That's not what he said. He said, I'm cheering for Tennessee all season. I'm cheering for my nephew in that game. He's cheering for Texas to win that game, Bean Stars, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's his nephew.
No, I don't see anything at all wrong with that, Tony.
Like
family comes before football.
Yeah, and to these morons, these absolute reprobate idiot morons, family comes first. By the way, I'm taking AJ, my great nephew, Bino, tomorrow night to see some MLS soccer. My Union and Jerry Colquitt Sounders, Bino. Who do you like, My Union or the Seattle Sounders? And I am wearing my Portland Timbers shirt along with my Tennessee Vols overshirt to that, Bino. I'll have 2 long sleeve shirts on in 81-degree weather. Perfect for 2 long sleeve shirts. Do you agree, Bino?
Yes, Tony. Perfect for you. I'll go with your Union.
There you go.
In that one, in my in-depth knowledge of that league.
BH said, I cheer against my nephew all the time, but he never remembers my birthday.
Hey, Tony, there's going to be something about that Texas game. And I think that I think that Texas is following and the rest of the country going to be surprised just how intense that crowd is against a team coming in here that's never been here. it's hard to explain to people why it's going to be that way, but it is. It is.
You know, are we going to be nice to those people at Calhoun's on the river, or are we going to rip them apart? What's our tact? Are we going to set the tone?
No, we're going to be nice to them, Tony. We're going to be. I mean, we're going to rip them a little bit, but we're going to be nice to them.
I want to bow up on a big, huge Texan. They got those big arms, Bino, those big, huge pipes.
Yeah, I don't know, Tony.
I want to bow. I want to bow up and prove my medal on a Texan.
I'll do whatever remains of the show, Tony. I'll step in.
Mark and Dallas going to join. I'm going to tell you something. Somebody going to wear an ass whooping.
Yeah, I'd say that's right.
Down Calhoun's on the river. Somebody going to wear an ass whooping.
Mm-hmm.
And this bald-headed lover is going to be dishing it out. Let's go to our
Unless
phones.
it's me you're up against, Tony. I don't like your chances.
Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air. Mark and Dallas, welcome in.
Hey, sir. If you don't mind, because I haven't had a chance to make this call, I want to briefly shift back to soccer before we get too far away from the ending of the World Cup.
Yep.
You all had some spirited debates during the World Cup, topical debates about why can't soccer have a clock that counts down, and stop the clock at appropriate times rather than do this goofy looking thing where they count up, run the clock through water breaks and injuries and goals. And then at the end of the half, they're adding a mysterious amount of time as if the stoppage time always adds up to an exact minute. And then nobody knows but one guy when the game's actually going to end. And Bino was a part of those discussions. So I wanted to, when I had the chance, I wanted to make this call on a Friday. So we had you had a regular caller call in, I think it was Rusty, and once or twice, and gave a spirited defense of counting up. And his logic that I want to respond to was that he compared it to American football. And he was saying, well, what if when the clock runs out, you don't want to abruptly stop the game when somebody has a chance to score. The clock hits zero, and I think he compared it to Josh Jobs and the Hail Mary play. We snap it with time left, and the clock maybe hits zero before he throws the ball. Do you really want him to end the game right there? So here's my response. Can't we just have a rule where when the clock hits zero, that becomes the final play, and you play on until the ball goes out of bounds or someone scores a goal? And if there's a foul, it's like American football. If there's a foul with no time left, then the offended team can either play it in or decline, and the game's over.
That's a great idea. That way we would all know what we're looking at. But see, soccer has its own charm. The guys laying around, the writhing in pain, the Latin death rolls. I mean, the other day in that final, I counted at least 15 murders on the field. And you got a great point. Like, if that was what we knew, in other words, you possess the ball, the game's over till you lose possession of the ball. We know this is the final play. Referee does some kind of signal. Maybe he gives you like an F or something. It's the final play. It's the final countdown. Maybe they play the final countdown, Europe, over the all these one of those deals. But I'm for it, man. I think you got your thinking cap on, Mark.
I like it, Mark. I think that's the perfect solution. And Tony and I had kind of this discussion, and it's more, and Rusty too, it's more about my misunderstanding of what all soccer fans understand. When Rusty described that, what that sounded like to me was that we're up 1 point in basketball, and Kentucky takes a shot, and while the shot is in the air, the clock goes off, the backboard lights up, but yet they let them ram it back through on the rebound and it counts and we get beat, because that's what I've always understood sports to be.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard when y'all brought up that point, and you or somebody else were saying, I'm glad you called back to that. That's a good point. Is you all were saying that, yeah, you wouldn't want the rebounded shot to count because the ball was touched after it had been at zero. And yeah, it's just a matter of are we going to do we want to compare it to basketball or American football? Because American football, it's just a matter of snapping the ball before it hits zero, and then it doesn't matter how many people touch it. You just go until somebody's down or out of bounds. So I would just compare the ending of soccer to American football. So I wouldn't want the basket to count. Somebody touches it after it's at zero, but that's just, I would compare football to football rather than football to basketball. But it is a better comparison. It is a good comparison.
Yep, great stuff, man. Anything else for us today?
One more soccer rule I'd love to change, and then I'll get. I want to make one lay down lineman. You've thought that nobody else does it, and I wanted to introduce somebody who does in the SEC. If I had my druthers, those of us who don't watch soccer constantly, probably, I assume the people who are just watch soccer all the time. I'm certainly not criticizing that. They probably view the offsides rule different than me because it's what they're used to. And Tony, you described it well, that there's a nuance to it where, they're kind of lined up in the offensive players trying to time his run so he can, maybe slip behind the defense after the ball has been passed. But if he's too fast, he could be offsides by half a shoe. Meanwhile, the defense can kind of sort of move the line away from the goal, but then they don't want to time it badly on their end where the ball gets passed and then somebody coming the other way gets behind them. Anyway, at the very least, if I've thought about this, and if they only changed if they kept offsides like all over the field, because like they don't, for example, it looks like they don't want where you're playing defense. And whereas like in basketball, you could be on defense and you could have a guy think that his teammate's going to get the rebound, so he starts leaking out for a breakaway. Like they apparently don't want that in soccer, where like one of your 10, your 11th man's going to be the goalie on the other end, where one of your 10 starts to kind of leak out. So if you get the ball, you can do a breakaway. I'm guessing they don't want that, so that's why they got offsides enforced literally everywhere. The one thing I'd want to change is, if the guy is passing the ball, if the guy passing it is inside, the big box, the penalty box, the penalty area, so he's already got the ball in front of the goal. And if the guy receiving the pass is not inside that little box right in front of the goal, I don't think they have a name for it. It's called like the 6-yard box is what I read on the internet. I don't know what maybe that little box, maybe the goalie gets better protection, like you can't bump the goalie in there. I'm just guessing. But if you're passing from inside the big box and basically you're receiving it in that area, but you're not right up in the goalie's house in that little box, I would like to turn off offsides under that scenario, because I view getting behind the defense there as just.
I agree with that. When you're inside that box, there's no bird dogging. I mean, a defender should not allow you between them and the goaltender, or the goalie rather. Goaltender's a hockey term, but you make a great point. And Bino, are you following all this? I mean, you're getting a snoot full of some football talk, Bino. The other football right now, Bino. The other football, dare I say?
I am, Tony. I'm right with you. I'm hanging in here.
You look like Kelly Holcomb when I'm on a Plaster Show. Holcomb's over there turning like 4 shades of gray. He's sitting over there, does everything but have a spit yo-yo coming out of his mouth. He's half asleep. Like the foreign students in the 24-hour study lounge, the kids that take school seriously.
Oh, I remember those days.
Remember those days, Mark? The foreign students be over there. They're going hard. The American students are out partying.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I love. I don't want to risk losing too many people spending too much time on soccer after.
You've done a great job. No, you've done a great job. Yeah, man, you've done a great job here.
I love the lay down lineman trophy that somebody sent to you.
Yes.
They made on, I guess, AI. Unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure I saw South Carolina do that last year. It was when they I mean, I didn't watch all their games. They were bad last year, but like their defense scored 2 touchdowns in a row, basically. It's darn near 2 consecutive plays against Kentucky. And I think I first heard about it because maybe Matt or somebody was talking about it on the Garzalaw 5th quarter that South Carolina had done that. And I went back and like watched it. And unless I'm mixing up the games, I'm pretty sure South Carolina had somebody down after the extra point when their defense had just scored. So I don't know how widespread it is, but I saw it there, and then I couldn't tell you the other game. I saw it in like a mid-major or FCS league, like maybe the SWAC. I saw somebody else do it somewhere, but I'm pretty sure I saw South Carolina do it when their defense scored against the Cats. So not saying that like I love it or want to keep doing it, but I don't think it's just us. And I don't want to give up a quick score to Auburn in the fall, but it would be pretty darn funny, I think, if Golish busted that out.
Yes.
Like if it was going back and forth and they were both doing it, that would be kind of fun.
Yes. And Bino, what would the league do if both head coaches made a mockery? Because that is what this thing is. It's a sham of a mockery. And Mark's laughing about it. What would the league do, Bino, if that game got high scoring? And, I mean, who knows? It's a football game. Anything can happen. What would the league do, Beanstar, in that case?
I don't think the league does a thing, Tony.
Exactly. Because it hasn't.
I want to hear. I wish we could hear or see the footage of Heupel teaching this to the team.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine? Because
with the trainers involved.
Oh my God! That Umaroff guy. I mean, the way he commits to the same body part, and then they'll come out and they'll take his little brace off, and they'll put his brace back on, and they'll touch that area, and he'll recoil when they touch it. I mean, he is literally a thespian on that campus. He's another thespian on that campus, if you think about it.
They bring someone out from like the arts department, like a professor that teaches drama or something, to come out there and instruct them.
Yes, exactly, Bino. Somebody from like Clarence Brown come over there, and then they have and then it wouldn't surprise me if the trainers they send out there aren't real trainers, if those are just like dummy trainers. Have you thought about that, Mark? That those people might not even be university personnel. They might just be people from Clarence Brown Theater working on a practicum, getting they probably put that on their resumes, that they were on national television, the whole thing.
So like WWE, where they've got a real doctor at ringside for every match in case something goes wrong. But then when they have something scripted, a scripted injury, they'll have people who come out that aren't really paramedics, and they'll act like they're, working on somebody, to the point that sometimes it can get kind of gray area where you don't know if it's a real doctor or a fake doctor in the ring, because, both of them can at any time be part of the production.
That's the point. Yes. And here's the thing. Would you need a real doctor with the lay down lineman? I would get those kids experience. You've touched on something here. I'm going to blog on that. If they keep doing this, it's about damn time we pull these kids out of Clarence Brown Theater and give them an opportunity to practice their craft in front of millions of people online, on television. Have a guy come out with a fake stethoscope. We could really have just a fake injury all the way around. And I wonder if the lay down lineman is under the tutelage of an acting coach, because it looks really good what they're doing. And there's a lot of...
Never been a leak.
Never been a leak. No.
Like none of these linemen, if they go on to other places, start talking about it. Like, yeah, man, it was crazy. They were telling me to lay down. It never happens. Which is, I guess,
it's almost like Omar Tabino, except this is real Omar Ta. There are no Sammy the Bull Gravanos writing tell-all books about the lay-down lineman, Bino. It's a sacred oath. Do you think they commit a blood oath to those guys before one hands it to another? Bino, you think that's what they do?
Oh, yeah. Those guys are button men.
Yep. Oh yeah, Ohio
Thank
State
you.
does what they do. If the number's 0, it's hard to get. You have to earn it, and we hand off the lay down spot.
Yep. Mark, that's a great call by you. What a great way to send us into the weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, good talking to you. Yes, sir. I love the lay down lineman. Because, Bino, it is all about kayfabe. As somebody just said, you cannot let anybody in on the secret. And don't show them how the magic is done. I don't want to know how the magic is done, Josh Heupel. I don't want Vol Network doing it. Once they outlaw this thing, I don't want to know. I want to believe that what I've been seeing this whole time is wow. Because we keep it wow. And I got 67 likes, and we're 26 minutes into this. So, Bino, that's it for me. Got to have at least 100 likes, or I'm not doing the extra half hour. That sounds fair, doesn't it, Bino?
It's fair to me, Tone.
Over on the YouTubers. So blame the YouTubers. Those of you listening back to the show that you don't get some extra content today, blame the YouTubers. I blame the YouTubers for a lot of things. I do want to shout out my friends at High Noon. They've got a great line of hard seltzers. Always a winner, always next level. 14 flavors, 100 calories. No sugar added, also gluten-free. That's 14 flavors, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. They also have, you should try High Noon vodka iced tea. 6 refreshing flavors. Peach and lemon are next level. And then High Noon tequila seltzer, 6 refreshing flavors. Check out Blood Orange. I almost said orange blood, but it's blood orange. High Noon, real vodka, real fruit juice. Live like that sun is always out. Brought to you by the High Noon Spirits Company, 21 and over. Enjoy responsibly. Bino, anything else for us? Great blog entry by you over at tclub.team today, where the throat got the party started and you got the party kicked. And Byron, lastly but not leastly, and certainly not leastly, he talked kickball. He went all in on kickball and ripped it, Bino, today.
Byron with another outstanding entry. Tony, be safe, have fun, tell the family I said hello, and go Yankees.
Oh, shit. We play you, don't we? You wait till you see how utterly ridiculous the Phillies are. That's a ridiculous baseball team with a ridiculously overpaid shortstop, a ridiculous everyday lineup, playing ridiculous brand of baseball. Ridiculous base running, ridiculous managing, ridiculous relief pitching, ridiculous. So, Bino, if you can't beat these guys 2 out of 3, you need to get on the ground wherever you are in Lenoir City when the Phillies clinch that series and give me 50. Call me and put it on FaceTime. I'll do the
Probably
same
couldn't
for
give
you,
5,
Bino.
Tony. This game may last all night.
Shit. Bino, are you guys playing good ball right now?
A little better, Tony. Not scoring any runs, but doing other things pretty well.
We have an atrociously overpaid, non-performing lineup. You guys have some injuries, though. There's a reason for you. There's no reason for the Phillies. And this Trey Turner guy, he can't field. They can't run the bases. He can't field. I mean,
that base running deal. I was watching that live. Goodness,
can you make that up, Bino? Is that bad base? Is that bad baseball, Bino?
No. I mean, that's bad baseball in the backyard, let alone major leagues.
On the way out, watching the Phillies is embarrassing. But you never know in baseball. Bino, did you see that rant that San Francisco talk host put on Tony Vitello the other day that I sent you?
I did.
He called him everything but a white Italian. Okay. Have you heard anybody get attacked like that in a while anywhere?
No. I mean, I'm sure there's some things out there that Tony's lacking at that level that he deserves criticism for, but he's always going to be overly criticized because of the way he got the job.
God.
Always.
God. Bino, I love you. I appreciate you. Have a Dwight Gooden, Bino. Thank you.
Love you, Tony. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Till we meet again, for all those behind the scenes, I love you. I appreciate you. It's been unbelievable, Andy. Enjoy the weekend. Hit the like button. We stay longer. Appreciate you. Peace.